Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. So today we'll see one more concept in our computer networks, that is transport layer primitives. So in our previous session we have seen the transport layer services which are being provided to the upper layers, that means for session layer, presentation layer and the application layer. And now we'll see the transport layer primitives. So what exactly means these primitives? So these primitives are nothing but commands which are being used for communication between two different systems. Okay, so we'll see what are the primitives and what is the usage. So let's start the session. So transport layer primitives. Transport layer primitives. So what we said, primitives are commands. So these are nothing but commands, or we can also call as operations. So what is the use of these operations? So these commands or operations are used to communicate between two systems, that means a sender and receiver. Okay, so this mainly these particular commands or operations are used to establish the connection. So first a connection will be established. Establishing the connection, sending and receiving the data. Send and receive the data. So this is done in between two different systems. Now, what are these primitives? So let us see what are these primitives. So primitives are, first one, listen. So I am writing all the primitives with capital letters. I am representing with a capital letter. So because we are calling them as a commands or operations, so you need to write them in the capital letters itself. Listen. So this will be done by the server. So what exactly means this listen means the server is able to accept the connection. So it was inviting the connections from the client. Okay, so let us take these two systems as client and server architecture. Example, client and server. So as we know, the client will send the request to the server and server will respond. Okay, so the here this is done by the server, and the server will be waiting for the connections from the client. So waits for the connection from clients. So example, you can take a website. So the website, all the web pages related to that website will be kept in a web server, okay, cloud. So that will accept the request from different clients. Okay, so here also similar, listen means it is done by the server and it will wait for the connection from the client. And the next one is connect. Here the name itself indicates the connect means it is done by the client. It is done by the client. That means it sends the request to the server. Okay, it sends the request to server. That means ready for communication. Ready for communication. So that means connection establishment. Connection establishment. The connection establishment will be done in the connect method. Okay, connect operation. So which is done by the client. And the next one, once the connection the request has been done, then accept. What does it mean? Accept means who will do this? This is done by the server again. This is done by the server. What it will do? So whatever the request it gets from the clients, it will be accepting. So accepting the request from the client. So here it will accept, so it will be connected to the client. So accepts the request came from clients, it will accept. So ready for communication. So this is a ready for communication. So connection here establishment. So here it is not an establishment, connection request, we can say it as a connection request. It's a connection request, and here it is a connection establishment. So once the server accepts the connection, so connection establishment will be done. Connection establishment. So once the connection is established, what happens? Now both the systems are ready to share the information. So send and receive. I'll erase this one. Okay. So listen, connect, accept, and send. So the work is done by either client or server. So both, because client and server are ready to send the information. So whatever if the client sends a request, so that means the client is sending some information to the server, and whenever the server gives a response to the client, that also means the server is giving some data to the client. So request and response. Request and response means sending and receiving the data will be done from both the sides. Both the sides means it will be receiver and sender. So client and server. So send means send data to client, send data to server. So it will be done by both client and server. Both client and server. And the next one is receive. Receive means here again the name itself indicates it is accepting the messages. Okay, so when sender sends the data, the receiver will accept the message. So receiving data from server as well as receiving data from client. So both sender and receiver, send and receive will also be done by both the client and server. This is done by both client and server. And the last one is terminate. Terminate. So once the sending of messages was done, automatically disconnects the connection which was established. Disconnection. Okay, disconnects the connection which was established between the client and server. So these are all the primitives. Okay, transport layer primitives. So these transport layer primitives are used for establishing a connection between two systems, and also to send and receive the data between two systems. Okay, hope you understood this one. So these are all the primitives. The first one is a listen, next connect, accept, send, receive, and terminate. Okay, so I'll stop here, and if you are having any doubts regarding this one, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section. Definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. If you really enjoyed the session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.